What's up, everybody? My name is Michael, or Kiratze Online. Hopefully, you guys are having a positively fantastic day so far, and I am here with my first ever episode of the podcast. I don't have a name for this podcast yet. It's gonna be gaming related, but mainly have its root in fitness. Like I tried thinking of a name. I'm just terrible coming up with names. I thought maybe Level Up Fitness, but there's too many places with that name already. It's not a very original name. I'm going to be putting this on YouTube first, probably. And I'm not sure where I'm going to be hosting it on otherwise. Might just do SoundCloud. We'll see. I'll let you guys know on Twitter, of course. And I'll let you guys update you guys on YouTube when I actually find a good podcast hosting website. But I'll put it up on YouTube first. Probably just have a black screen. I don't know. Make it easy for you guys just to pop it on and have it on in the background, not have to worry about visuals too much. But yeah, it's gonna be let me know in the comments if you guys have any good names for this podcast after you sort of listen to what it's all about and things like that, and what I talk about. Maybe you guys can come up with a better idea. As well as let me know what you guys want to hear about in the podcast. Obviously, you guys have no idea what this podcast is about yet. But we'll just get right into that right now. So I'll just quickly go over sort of what this episode entails. So I'll go over sort of why I'm starting this podcast. And I'll also go over my relationship with fitness and how it sort of relates to my gaming side of my life, my fitness goals, and also sort of the plans for the podcast and sort of what I want to do with it, essentially. I guess that sort of ties into why I'm starting the podcast. But anyways, let's get on with it. Kiratze, I'm sure some of you, maybe like one of the people that has been with me since like 2015. Didn't you have a podcast? Yes, I did start a podcast a long time ago, back in 2015. That was a mainly Twitch related podcast, talking about sort of my progress on Twitch and just Twitch related things. Only lasted about 4 to 5 episodes. I just didn't really have any drive for it. It was just sort of a spur of the moment fun thing to do. Like most of the stuff I do, you guys know I like bouncing around, trying out new games and stuff like that. Sort of the same thing. I just like trying new hobbies, new things. And that was it. It lasted 45 episodes. I just didn't have my heart in it, and I didn't really have a goal for it, I guess. It was just spur of the moment, slap on the record button and see what happens type of thing. So that's got scrapped. But why am I starting this podcast? So this isn't going to be the same kind of thing. This one is, like I said, going to have its roots more in fitness and health, but also how it relates as from the perspective of me, who's in a more unique position of being a Twitch streamer and just a lifelong gamer, and who has sort of transformed his life because gaming became sort of a problem that interfered with my physical well-being. So that's the main reason. Also to catalog my own fitness journey. Because I am sort of on the course to getting my personal trainer certificate, so I'm working towards that. And this will be a nice way to catalog sort of my progress, and not only in terms of learning for that, but also just my weight progress and just body composition progress, and also just fitness goal progress. So that's another reason. It's mainly for me, but also I think I want to use it for a good resource for you guys, because I can, I'm, like I said, I'm someone who comes from the gaming side of things, and I know how overwhelming it is to try and get insert fitness into that gaming lifestyle already, when it's such a sedentary activity. I want to use this as a way to give you guys resources and teach you guys things, so you guys can transform your own life and not have to give up that gaming side of things, but also just make yourself the best you that you can be. And for me, I think that's what fitness is to me. Fitness is just getting stronger and healthier and making yourself the best you that you can be, and leveling yourself up, essentially, maxing out your levels. So that's that. But that's why I'm starting this podcast. So this first episode, I'll talk mainly more about myself, and just let's just go right into the second topic, I guess, which was just my relationship with fitness and how it related to gaming, I guess. So I've always been like a fairly fit person, and that's just due to being forced to start a sport at a very young age, I think, to be honest. My parents, I have 3 other siblings, and my parents made each and every one of us choose a sport and choose a musical instrument. So early on, at like age 5, I chose the violin. No idea. Who the hell chooses a violin at age 5? They say that I'm the one that chose it. I have no clue if that's true or not. But I did 11 and a half years of violin. And for my sport, I chose soccer. Still no idea why I chose that one, but I chose soccer. And it went great. I think every kid should learn some team-based sport at a very young age. It just teaches you how to work together, teaches you some new kinetic skills, but just also gets you moving. So it's just something I think every kid should do. And then so after that, there's been sort of some sort of physical activity at every point in my life, both traditional and untraditional. So, on the traditional side of things, I went from soccer, went through some baseball, did swimming, also, but high school or football was my main like team-based sport that really hooked me, I guess is the best way to put it. And so I had a very successful time with Pee Wee and Bantam football as a first string running back. Our team won championships. And then after that, high school football, had a really successful career in that. In my high school football days, I was the first. I'm one of the first. No, I'm not. I'm not one. I am the first person on one of the plaques there for Rookie of the Year, because when I first started high school, there was a new school opening up, and so I joined that one. And so there were, in my first year of high school, there were only grade 9s and 10s. So I did a really good job through football. I actually started out doing running back on Pee Wee and Bantam football, but moving from that to high school football was a different game in a different ballpark, and I actually ended up second string running back in my grade 9 year football, which was sort of a shot to the pride, I guess is the best way to put it. But it was very humbling. Just realizing that there's so many people better than you, because at that point I was in elementary school. I was always like one of the more athletic people. I was always the fastest, could jump the longest, things like that. And so being second string running back just was a shot to the pride, but it was good. It was good. It was a good learning moment for me. And so through that, I actually did running back for about half the year. But during one of the drills, I actually was supposed to pretend to be defense, and I actually ended up hitting the first string running back and bringing him down, because I was actually pretty short. I am still pretty short. I'm only 5'5". But I'm Asian, pretty small guy. But I've always been really, really agile, really quick, and still pretty strong for my size. So, I brought him down, and one of the defensive coaches actually caught sight of that and brought me over and was like, "Okay, well, do you want to try out maybe defense?" And I was like, "Sure. I'm not getting any play time as being a second string running back. Let's try hitting some people." Because I didn't actually like fully hit them because I knew my place. I'm not gonna go toe to toe with some of the larger guys, hitting them straight on. That's just dumb. That's just a way to get injured. So the way I usually hit people is, because I was more of a defensive back. So I played halfback. So defensive back, essentially, cornerback or safety, I guess is the best way to put it. So I usually flanked people coming from the side. And I was able to just start low because I had a lower center of gravity than most people because I was shorter. Was able just to wrap my arms around them, and because of my strength, just keep my arms closed. And obviously, if someone has their arms wrapped around your legs, you're not going anywhere as long as they're strong enough to keep them closed. So that was sort of my style of tackling, and it actually worked out really well. So I had a very successful rest of my grade 9 football career, and I ended up getting Player of the Year because of just my growth from being a second string running back and being one of the top defensive backs on the team and being first string. And that went out through the rest of the high school. I didn't play during grade 11 because I had some academic problems, but grade 10 and grade 10 I actually got Rookie of the Year, just because we only had. It was funny actually because, like I said, it was the first year that the school opened, so we only had grade 9s and 10s, and then in my grade 10 year we didn't have any grade 12s because the grade 10s only became the grade 11s, and so the 11s we only had one class full of seniors or one grade full of seniors. So I actually ended up getting pulled to playing senior football at a junior level, or playing senior level football as a junior. And so that's mainly how I ended up getting rookie of the year as well, because it was much easier, less people to try and outperform, I guess. So that was pretty fun. And then I skipped grade 11, but I ended up playing my last year, and that was pretty successful too. Made it to city championships, but sadly did not make it to provincials. Um, so that's my whole sort of fitness aspect. I've always done fitness, always loved team-based sports, and even doing more untraditional forms of fitness like breakdancing or b-boying, foot baking or hacky sacking. Yes, that is a competitive thing. You can look that up. As well as competitive paintballing or speedball. That's one that I think I would still be doing if it just weren't so damn expensive. Definitely one of the most expensive hobbies out there, and one of the most expensive sports out there, just due to the amount of paint you shoot during a tournament, because everyone has double triggers and electric guns, so you're shooting up to 30 balls per second through a case of 1,000 paintballs. That's going to go through a team of 5. That's going to go in a couple of games, and those are about $100 to $150 per box. So that does not go well for someone who's in their teens who doesn't really have a job. So I did that, but when I got to university, it didn't really work out because just like bantam to high school football was a whole nother level. High school football to university or college football is another level in and of itself, and I was just way too small. It wasn't even to the point where I could like try, and it was just the size difference from the people who have been weightlifting their whole life and stuff like that, which is something that I never done. I never got serious into weightlifting. These are people who have been training to like be professional football players and stuff like that. I was just too small, so it would just be an injury waiting to happen, like a serious injury. And I already had a few concussions under my belt thanks to high school football. So that didn't work out. And at university, even way before that, of course, I was a gamer my whole life. I've always loved playing games, hence why I'm a Twitch streamer. And started obviously with siblings, just huddled around. We're a family of 4 siblings. Our family has 4 kids, sorry. So it's like the perfect amount for like N64, just Smash Brothers and stuff like that, and Mario Kart and all these other, Mario Party, these party games, and I always had a love for gaming at a very young age, thanks to my siblings. And that just progressed, and that also became a problem through high school, and it sort of was one of the issues that I had for my academics, because I was never an academic, but I'll play the shit out of any video game. So through university that didn't really change, but my physical activity dropped because I just didn't really find anything else, I guess is the best way to put it. Nothing really hooked me. Like it did at a young age, especially when I had the stress and stuff like that of trying to succeed in trying to get my degree. And I just went for a 3-year Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I knew I had to go into university right out of high school, because I know if I didn't, I probably wouldn't go back. So I decided, I'll play it safe. I'll get a sociology degree. My dad was in social work. My dad was a teacher as well, and same with my mom. My dad worked with the Teachers Federation, but also after he retired, he did social work. And I've always loved helping people. And so I figured, sure, why not? Let's do that. We'll see what happens. And halfway through, I decided, this just wasn't for me, but I wasn't going to be going and switching out my degree anytime soon, because I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. And my drive just wasn't there. I was failing a lot of stuff, and it just was bad. Like, I don't regret it, because it did teach me a lot, and also just the people you meet and just the experiences you have are still worth a lot. Like, they are priceless things that you can learn through university or college. It's definitely not for everyone, but I think even though I didn't really have my heart in it, I don't think I regret it at all. And I have my degree now. I got through it fine. Like, it's not like I graduated with honors or anything like that, but I definitely passed. Got my degree, so I have a degree now. And that's still good for like entry level stuff. But as I got older, and started learning more about Twitch and the internet and stuff like that, I realized, people can make a living off of pretty much anything nowadays. And so I decided to, try and work my way to just trying to maybe finding more of an unconventional job. I've always been a self-teacher. I've always loved being a little bit more independent in my learnings and stuff like that. So I just decided to go straight to work right after. Didn't really want to find a job that I wanted to settle in. So I just did what I knew I was comfortable with. And I did vehicle detailing throughout a lot of university. So I decided, let's just apply for this random detailing job. I've been detailing vehicles for the past couple of years, just saving up money. I've been gracious enough to have parents who are awesome and just letting me stay at home and save up money to buy my own place. Probably within the next year. I've been saving for the past 2-3 years. And so I've had a very, very, very nice nest egg built up to be able to use that to put a sizable down payment on a really nice townhouse. So hopefully gonna find something like that within the next year or so, and move out. But through that, I realized, through gaming and not really doing much physical activity, I was like on and off physical activity throughout university. I was like, yeah, let's do some workouts and stuff like that. Workouts at home, but never really sticking with one thing, never really being consistent with a workout plan, not really being conscientious of sort of my health and fitness in general. I was like, I knew the basics. Move around, it's fine. You'll be healthy. Obviously not really the case when you get to the, nitty gritty. But moving around and stuff like that will, help you maintain muscle, help you just be overall healthier. And so up until about a year ago, so I, 2 to 3 years without, coming out of university, just working in this job and just, having a social life, having fun, doing Twitch streams, stuff like that. It was also mainly due to a point where there was right out of university, I had a warehouse job, not going directly into the detailing job. I actually had a warehouse job for a very brief period of time. And through this, of course, I was just hanging out with friends, gaming, not really being healthy, I guess. And warehouse jobs are laborious, but it's just really, really hard on your body when you're not trying to maintain that outside of the workplace. And I ended up injuring myself, so that job only lasted a month, and then I ended up just not having a job for about a month, and that was a point where I was just super engulfed in Twitch and gaming, and that was a point as well when I was realized, thanks to watching people like Carnage, for example, who I helped moderate for a brief period of time. I was like, well, you can make a living off this. Let's try it out. So I decided to tell my parents, I was like, give me a month. Give me a month. I'm so dumb. I said, give me a month. This Twitch thing's going pretty well, because I had connections with and stuff like that. He rated me a few times, and my channel really, really grew fast. And so I was like, let's see how this goes. Maybe I can actually get something out of it. Of course, in a month, it's impossible unless you're extremely, extremely lucky. And so it didn't really go anywhere. So I was like, okay, well, it's the end of the year. It's the end of the year. I have to find a job. So again, that's when I sort of applied for the detailing job. And also through that, I realized how impactful and how bad gaming had on my life, because Twitch got to a point where I was so passionate about it. And when I'm really, really, really passionate about something, I'll engulf myself in it. And that's what happened with Twitch. And I dropped my social life, stopped even doing on and off workouts here and there. I just didn't do them. Didn't think about my health at all. And that was really, really bad. Through that, back issues came apparent, just mobility issues, and just feeling older than I should. And that was back when I was like, 22, 21. And that just shouldn't be a thing for any 20-year-old, really. Any 20-year-old shouldn't have those kinds of problems, even if you're in your late 20s or even 30s, I would say, to be honest. And so, that continued for a while. Like, even when I got my detailing job, I still, sure, that detailing job got me a little bit more mobile, got me sort of out of that slump of, being unemployed for a month. But it's still, I didn't really go back to working out or anything like that, not even off and on and off. So it was not until about a year ago where I just said, this is it. You know, my Twitch is not really going anywhere. Like it was very slowly but steadily growing. You know, I was having fun, but you know, it was at the point where I realized it was a hobby, social life, and other priorities come first. You know, I'm happy to try and grow my channel, but it's not like I'm gonna give up everything else for it. Um, so up until a year ago, that was the case, and you know, I put my foot down. I was like, okay, let's think about things for a while, or let's think about things and try out working out thing for a while, like consistently. Let's find something I can do that doesn't require me to just try to go to a gym and try to lift all these big heavy weights, because I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't really weightlift at all throughout my whole life. Of course, like I said, of course I did physical forms of physical activity and stuff like that, but nothing really required me to do conventional, you know, traditional weightlifting or powerlifting or anything like that. So I ended up falling more on bodyweight stuff, but I also discovered CrossFit around that time. And but you know, I know some of you guys have heard bad reps and stuff like that, and bad, really really bad cultish things about CrossFit. And yeah, it does have a little bit of a cultish vibe to it, but I might even, who knows, maybe I'll do a whole episode about it down the road. But CrossFit is great. I think it is a really good thing. And back then it was more of a anyone can do CrossFit. Just it's super intense, but anyone can do it. Just adjust the weights. You know, it has Olympic style of, you know, these Olympic style of lifts, snatches, things like that, and anyone can do them. Even if you're an old grandma or a young kid, you can do it. You can do CrossFit. Just gotta modify the weights and modify some other stuff, but that's not really the case. You're just gonna end up injuring yourself or worse. So that's you know, I only did a month of CrossFit, but it was fine for me because I was already I was naturally a fairly fit person, even with not really working out most of the university time. So I was naturally, I've always been a naturally fit person. And CrossFit was really, really awesome to get me back into that intense type stuff. And I only did a month of it because it was expensive, but also it was really hard on my body because I didn't really do much working out before I got into CrossFit, and CrossFit's very, very intense. And nowadays, you know, just within the past year or so, it's gotten to be more shifted. The idea of CrossFit's shifted more to actually being a sport, which is what it is. CrossFit is a sport. It's not a form of exercise. I don't think you should do it as a form of exercise when you're doing that style of liftings and stuff like that for reps, as well as just being in a competitive, intense environment. You're just leading yourself up to injuring yourself. Even more CrossFit athletes are coming out and saying, you know, this is not something for the everyday person. This is something for trained athletes, and you're trained for CrossFit. You train it as a sport. But anyways, I'm not going to go super deep into that. So I did that, and then I decided, you know, let's try to bring that to the home, because I didn't really want to spend $100 a month on CrossFit. So, you know, I got a barbell, and some of my friends were like trying to get more to fitness and stuff like that at the same time. So I was like, well, I'm pretty good about knowing my body. I could maybe teach you some stuff I learned in CrossFit. And so I actually ended up training a couple of friends for a little while, and doing some CrossFit type movements, but being conscientious that to try and slow it down and just mainly focus on the form and focus on the movements and stuff like that. So that was really, really, really fun, and that actually got me more out and about, I guess is the best way to put it. But as with most things, that just didn't end up being consistent, and so I ended up dropping that as well, and being back into sort of a slump of not really giving a shit about my body, I guess is the best way to put it. And still, you know, of course, like I said, gaming, streaming, and stuff like that. And up until a year ago, I put my foot down and focused more on trying to be consistent in bodyweight stuff. And again, I didn't really want to go to join a gym because I've always had self-conscious issues, and with my body and stuff like that, and especially just with how I perform. I've always had performance anxiety. It's one of the reasons I stopped playing violin. And joining a gym just wasn't really for me. I really thought it was just a judgmental place. There was going to be all these super strong, better looking people around me, which, you know, as someone who's been going to the gym now, like regularly, you know, getting up at 4 a.m. to do my workouts, yes, that is the case. You have really, really strong, really, really attractive people around you, but you also have just people who motivate you. and there is no intimidation. There is no judgment. If people are judging you, they don't matter. You're going to the gym to be stronger, to be healthier. Go in, do what you need to do, and you'll see the progress. You'll see the gains. You'll have a better life. Everything else doesn't matter. Those other people don't matter. What they're doing doesn't matter. What they're thinking doesn't matter. Obviously, unless you're about to hurt yourself or hurt someone around you, that's obviously when it becomes a problem. But otherwise, everyone's there to do their own thing, to get stronger and to get healthier. So I never really did a gym. I sort of built my own home gym, quote unquote home gym. It's not really a home gym. I just got the basic things where I could. I got a reclining and inclining bench. I got a couple of dumbbells, 20-pound dumbbells. I had resistance cables or resistance bands, and a kettlebell and a pull-up bar. That's what I got sort of in the past year. And that's what I had to work with for about the past year. And for anyone who says they have no room, I'm someone who has, for the past year, has been doing workouts in about I would say a 4x5 or a 4x6 square foot area. So you can sort of picture that in your mind. I have a very small room, and it's not much to do anything in but body weight and small movement stuff. So I don't want to hear anyone say that they don't have the room, or don't have the time. That's another lame excuse. That's just not a good excuse. It just doesn't hold up. You can't argue that you don't have time. That's just silly. And also using the park across the street to do sprints and stuff like that for cardio. And that's what I did for about the past year. It was only up until a couple of weeks ago where I really decided to try and hit the gym and focus more and get more interested in trying to get more weightlifting out of things, because I was just obviously just strictly doing bodyweight stuff. Like, you're going to maintain muscle, you're going to grow a lot of strength, but you're not going to see a lot of muscle mass gain, and you're not going to see, you're going to plateau pretty quickly. And that's what happened to me. Like, I've been doing the same movements just to get comfortable with them and trying to learn some of the basic stuff. But all in all, like, in terms of just progressing, there's only so much you can do with a couple of dumbbells that are really, really light. 20-pound dumbbells is really, really light. So there's only so much you can do with that. And so I decided to get up until a couple of weeks ago, I felt really, really solid. Throughout the past year, I've been looking more into the literature, and I decided to try to go for my personal trainer certificate. And I'm actually just more seriously working towards that. At the start of the last year, it was sort of just an idea, and just passively trying to be more conscientious of the technical side of things and the scientific side of things, but never really being serious about it. I would say probably at the start of this year was when I really got more into serious into it, and really when I decided, okay, a personal trainer is a possible career path for me, because like I said, I've always loved helping people, and I'm really loving this fitness side of things, and actually knowing more and learning more about the scientific side of things and the back end side of things of how the body works and the kinesiology type of things that I've been learning. I'm actually passionate about it, which is really, really awesome, and I just want to learn more. So obviously, being a personal trainer, I have to go to the gym. I'm gonna have to be able to be comfortable in a gym environment. So that's why up until a couple of weeks ago, I decided to join a 24-hour gym. I've been getting up at 4 a.m. to do my workouts, which is awesome, because that, like I said, performance anxiety is one of the problems I had, and going at 4 a.m, there's only a few people there and only a few regulars there, and it's been a lot of fun. I've already been seeing some progress in just my form and strength and stuff like that, and being more comfortable around weights. So while still, as you guys know, in the past year, my channel's still been steadily growing on Twitch. And, I've still been trying to keep up with my Twitch and really still focusing on that as a really serious hobby. But I'm not really pursuing it as heavily now. I'm not really, dedicating all my time to Twitch. I'm dedicating most of my time to fitness and learning more and teaching myself new things for the end goal of becoming a personal trainer. So that's pretty much my relationship with fitness and how it related to my gaming side of things, and how negatively of an impact gaming had. But I'm not saying gaming's bad. gaming is amazing. Like gaming's my life. I love all forms of games, board games, video games, role playing. I do all of them. And it's just all about balance. It's all about balance and consistency. And if you are in a position like I was, where it was mainly just about the gaming, you're neglecting your health and your fitness side of things, this is the podcast for you because, I'm going to teach you guys things. I'm going to try and motivate you guys to transform your life like I did. And I've always been a fairly fit person, but I've always had struggles with my body issues and stuff like that. And things, and it was more of a psychological thing. And maybe it is for you as well. Like maybe you are already a fit person, sort of naturally, like I was, but maybe that mental block of just not wanting to get out of that comfortable state of just sitting down on your ass watching Netflix or playing video games and putting yourself into an uncomfortable state. That's the problem that most people have nowadays is because gaming and Netflix, watching movies, it's just all sedentary activity and there's no physical movement in that. And that's a big problem. And I don't think enough people are talking about it on Twitch as well. There are some people on Twitch who are larger streamers who do weights and they do workout and stuff like that, but they don't talk about it on their live streams. Maybe passively on Twitter or something like that. They one off of it, but they don't actively teach people. They don't actively advocate it on Twitch. I think Twitch in general, should have a fitness category people can stream in. I think, I know there's IRL right now, but I think there should be a dedicated fitness stream area. There should be a health and fitness stream area. There should be, I don't know, a notification that pops up on Twitch every hour and a half that, says you've been watching Twitch for this amount of time. Maybe, you should go take a break, go get up, do a 5-minute stretch, whatever. I think that just should be a requirement because it's, I speak from experience, sitting down on your ass all day, which I have done many days. It's not healthy. You're ruining your life for the long term. Sure, for a short term, you're getting that awesome stimulus through gaming, watching Netflix, and that's the biggest problem is we were able to get all this external stimuli without having to move. And no one wants to get out of that comfortable state to make themselves uncomfortable, and that's what exercise is like. And I completely understand that, but that's because that's when it comes down to a psychological thing that you have to get over. Is realizing that 100,000 times percent exercising is going to make you feel better, and there's literally no downside to it at all. Obviously with the individual circumstances at some point where there's serious health issues that come to mind, but even then it's just a matter of making things that work for you to better yourself. But other than that, there's literally no downside to it. Only makes you feel better. It extends your lifetime. I'm not even going to go over all the reasons why you should exercise because there's plenty of academic research and studies and stuff like that can already tell you that. It's just fact. So it's just more of a psychological thing to try and put yourself into that uncomfortable state to be comfortable in the long term, because it is an investment into your body and you have to invest in that. Exercise is essentially just becoming, it's a stressor. Exercise is putting your body through stress to make yourself stronger and to make yourself healthier, because the body is super smart. That's just basic principles about how to build like muscle, for example, is like when you lift heavy weights, you're tearing your muscle and your body's like, oh shit, muscle's tearing, need to heal it, but also I need to add muscle to make sure for the next time this stupid body lifts, it'll be able to handle that. So that's how you get stronger. That's how you build muscle mass. And that's just the nature of things. And that's also just how you grow as a human being through exercise and fitness is you're putting your body through stress to become stronger and to become healthier and to grow mentally and physically. And that's just fact. That's just how it goes. And I hope this podcast does motivate you guys to do that. And I don't want to like guilt, I don't say these things to scare you guys and I don't say these things to guilt trip you guys, but there's not really many other ways to put it. And some people I think need to hear it. And at the same time, I realize no one really likes being told what to do, But throughout these podcast episodes, I will tell you to do stuff probably. But I think it's up to you guys to really determine, okay, A, is this guy being, correct? Do your own research. That's one thing that I advocate as well, is be resourceful. It's not only as a Twitch streamer is a good skill, it's good skill just in life. And when you're getting into fitness, I know there's so much overwhelming things, but fitness and health is not a complicated thing. I think people make it complicated. You just need the basic things, and it's just, going out, going for walks, going out for a jog, do some cardio. If you want to lose weight, just eat less calories. It's pretty much as simple as that. Obviously, there's more that goes into that, but as a basic thing, just eat less, proportion your meals, things like that. It can change your life for the better, because every day, more and more people are just getting into obesity, and body issues and eating issues, eating disorders, and that's a huge problem. And like I said, I come from a unique standpoint as a gamer and knowing how bad this hobby is on your body. So that's another driving motivator for me to become a personal trainer, to be able to share that on Twitch possibly in the future and share my knowledge with you guys to help you guys. Like I do want to help as many people as I can, not only locally in my city when I become a personal trainer, but possibly get into more online coaching situations where I can help you guys, whether it be one-on-one or through group stuff like on Twitch. Like I really do have like serious plans for this now, which is why I'm becoming so much more passionate about it, and which is why I'm trying to learn as much as I can to try and filter out a lot of the stuff so you guys only get the information that you guys need to know, to get you guys started and to get you guys moving, to get you guys motivated to learn more about yourself. Because like I said, everyone's different. Everyone's going to learn. Everyone's going to have their own path to fitness. And just like Twitch streaming, there's no one right way to do it. There's plenty of right ways to do it. It's just a matter of making sure you're not doing the wrong way. And there are some wrong ways to do it, just like there is some wrong ways to stream on Twitch. So I don't even know. I probably haven't been going over my topics very accurately on this podcast so far, but those are sort of my fitness goals and how it relates to gaming, I guess, is trying to figure out some fun ways to get into fitness for you guys, to get you out of that gaming sedentary state, but not have to just sacrifice that. Because I still love streaming. I still stream. I still love video games. I still do a lot of it. But I realize it's all about balance. And I've realized, you don't have to make fitness your whole day. You don't have to make it your life. Obviously, it's different for me because I actually want to become a personal trainer. So fitness is a huge part of my life. But it doesn't have to be for you. It just has to be a matter of you want to get better, you want to get stronger, you want to maintain your health or make yourself healthier, and you don't have to sacrifice a lot for that. Like even just my workout, for example, like I'm in and out of the gym like within an hour to an hour and a half. And that's my workout for the day. And that's first thing in the morning, so it's like other than work, I have the rest of the day to just do whatever I want type of thing. So let's see. What else do I want to talk about? So I guess my plans for the podcast, I went over them sort of, to catalog my progress, but also to give you guys good resources, give you guys some fun workouts possibly. I already do that, for example, if you guys don't know, on my Discord, every Friday, I actually give you guys a workout or give you guys some sort of exercise or health/fitness related resource that you guys can take a look at. So I'm going to put all my social media and stuff like that in the description below. If you guys wouldn't mind checking that stuff out, I would really appreciate it. And feel free to ask me questions on my social media or on the comments below on the YouTube video or wherever this podcast is hosted. Send me an email, things like that. I'm reachable at many, many different places, or hell, I stream, like I said, on Twitch. Come by my stream. I'm happy to answer questions. And I'm still learning, but I'll learn with you guys. I will tell you guys when I don't know something, but I will actually try and find out for you guys if you guys have a question I don't know the answer to. So that's one thing, as well as possibly having guests on the future. This is gonna be mainly a solo podcast, but hopefully down the road I can get some Twitch people who are into fitness. I do know some people who do stream their workouts and stuff like that. So it would be nice to get another side of, another viewpoint on things, and to get another fitness person on Twitch, on this podcast. Other than that, like I said, possible coaching opportunities for you guys once I actually get my certificate, and then giving you guys the resources you need to become a better you, to become the best you that you can be. I think that's a goal that everyone should have. So maybe I'll make an episode about all my favorite YouTubers and favorite health and fitness resources that I read and watch and listen to and stuff like that. Then I'll talk about why I like them, or maybe why I don't like them, and I'll pass those guys and girls on to you, so you guys can have some awesome resources to watch and listen to as well. But I'm gonna end this podcast. In terms of length for these, I'll probably look at having them at least 15 minutes, and then probably no more than an hour, obviously depending on the topic and stuff like that. But overall, hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to this. I apologize if it was a little bit rambly. This first episode I expected to be a little bit more rambly, because it was mainly just talking about me and sort of my fitness life and my gaming life and stuff like that, and how gaming impacted me negatively, and sort of how I sort of changed my mindset, I guess, on some things, and now I'm actively working out. I have a workout plan and stuff like that, and actually fully in the fitness world. And yeah, I hope to pass on my knowledge to you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. I will have gaming related things in this podcast, don't you worry. I know we'll talk about Twitch and stuff like that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna separate them or make them sort of more integral. But I do want to still have a lot of gaming related stuff in this channel, just because I love video games. I do like to talk about video games as well. So maybe at the end of each podcast, I'll list off like what I'm playing or what I'm streaming or something like that. Who knows? This podcast is gonna be who knows what. It's gonna grow. Like I'm gonna grow. Like you're gonna grow. And that's my whole plan for this. I do hope that we can grow together, and I hope you go out, move around. I hope this first episode made you think a little bit about your own health and your own fitness level. And I do hope you try to better yourself, to grow, and level up, level up in life. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me, guys. I'm gonna head off. Hopefully you guys enjoyed not watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to this podcast. Definitely leave me a comment below on what you guys maybe want this podcast to have, and what kind of content you guys are expecting. And also leave me a name. Maybe I'll have a name by this time this goes up, but if I don't happen to have a name for this podcast, let me know in the comment below. Let me know what you guys think would be a good podcast name, and maybe I'll take it into consideration. I'll probably end up coming up with my own name, but still, if you guys were going to start a fitness/gaming podcast, what would it be named? Let me know in the comments below. But I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys so much for listening, and hopefully you guys have a positively fantastic rest of your day.